Hello and welcome to another Nikomedia tutorial. So, today we will recreate this one I made yesterday. I got a lot of questions about this, so I thought we will do this almost immediately. And yeah, there is not much to say. It's not really difficult. The most difficult thing here, or the most complicated thing here, could be the shape around it here. But I did this simply in volume builder, so because to model this is too much work for this one. So we have the volume builder, we have a remesher, so why not using it? Yeah, and the second thing here is this rotation, and this is quite easy to do. And yeah, and the particles you maybe see here floating around, this I simply made in post. Yeah, I made this with a simple layer in Wünsche Resolve, so a black and white layer, and yeah, that's it. So this is not in 3D done. This is just to get more the feeling it is in a little dusty room, so something like this. Okay, and I made this in Octane. You also can do this quite easy in physical render, but in physical render you won't get this nice glow here for the light. So I made it in Octane, but it's very easy to texture this. This is all no UV mapping. It's just cubic mapping. So. And yeah, we will see all things. Okay, so I would say let's start. Sorry, now we can start. Good. For the start, I make this rotating cylinder here, so that we have something to work with. So I make a simple cylinder here. So, and I do not really remember the values I used, but we can change this to almost any time. I make here quite a lot of subdivisions so that we have a nice round cylinder here. Okay, then I copy this. Why is it called just okay? Okay, so I copy this cylinder, and this will be the small one, let's say 1.5 and height of 120, and here we need, let's say 16. Okay, now I don't want to make this, I want to stay parametric as long as I can, so I don't want to make this one editable now, but I want the axis down here. And since we have capsules, we can do this with capsules. Otherwise, you could of course make it editable and then bring the axis down to the bottom. But with the axis tool or the axis capsule, you will find, I have it here in my favorites, but you will find it in the notes. Let's go to here, and in the notes, and somewhere we will find it. Yeah, here it's in my favorites, I said. But we have it, this is in the body of axis tool, selection, utilities, axis, geometry axis here, and I bring this under my cylinder here, and with this one I can now say, come on, go up here. So, and now I have my axis on the bottom here, even if this is not editable, so this is not, it's still a parametric thing here. So bring this now to the side here, the cylinder, to somewhere like here. We can change this later, everything. And we have to rotate this now. So rotate it about, let's say 40 degrees, this looks nice. 45 would be a little too much, I think. This is, yeah, but you can do this however you want, but I'll stay with 40 degrees here. Let's see. No, it is 35 now. I want 40 here, so 40 degrees. Okay, fine. Now we can go even more to the side, but we can do this later. Good. Now for the X shape here, we need this again here. So I'll bring this down. But this time I have to make this editable because I want to bend this one here. So that means I need more subdivisions here. Let's say here height segments 50, looks nice. And now I say current state to object. I can delete this one. And now you see I have this cylinder with the axis down here. Perfect, it's exactly what I want. But here I can still change my height and everything if I want later on. So, good. The next step is I want to bend this guy here. So, I select my cylinder, go to the deformers, and I have the bend deformer here. And if I hold my shift key with the selected cylinder, hold my shift key, check, bend deformer, you see the bend deformer now is exactly the size of the cylinder here. This is exactly what I want, but when I bend it now, it looks like this. This is not really what I need. So I make this bend deformer a little shorter, so let's say 20 here. And if I bend this now, that is exactly what I want. Okay, let's go to the side view here. And we have here an angle of 40 degrees. So I want here the double, so minus 80 degrees. So I have here exactly the same position like here. So, okay, let's hide this cylinder here for now. So this will be the spinning thing later on, but you can hide this for the moment. So, good. Now I need a symmetry object and bring my bend in here. So, okay, nice. But these two guys could be closer together, maybe. We will see later. We can change a lot here later on too. But yeah, I think I want them a little closer together. But if I move this guy here or something else, I have to move the original cylinder as well, so that they always have to stay on the same size. But at the moment, you see, we have a slight problem, and this is this one. I have to look that we have this one, this bend thing on exactly this way of this cylinder here. So we can do this with the bend deformer. When I go with the bend deformer and drag the bend deformer up, you see, now they should, this cylinder and this cylinder, they should almost perfect overlap. So something like this looks great. Okay, you see now, this is, later we need this straight line here. Okay, this is exactly what I want. So we can hide this as well. So, and now, but now you see we are here on this position, and this thing is shorter here. I want this almost as long as here, or the same, could be the same size, but has not been exactly the same size. But we cannot change the height now, but it's quite easy to change it anyways. We go to our cylinder here, go in polygon mode. Let's deactivate the symmetry for the moment. And here I select these polygons here, and now I can drag this. So I activate this again, and I want this length here to about, I follow this line to about here, something like that. So I imagine this, I look at this, and drag now the polygon simply up here until I think I am in the same position, so something like that. Okay. So here we don't have now some subdivisions like here. We don't need it, but just for the eyes that it looks a little better, I make some. So I go in edge mode, and with UB, this is the ring selection, I select these edges, and MM, so twice the M. I can zack, one cut, another cut, another cut. So now I have here same subdivisions and everything looks great. And now we have this nice straight line here. Okay, this is exactly what we need. This is very important. Good. Now we have this. Let's save this. Save as Magic X tutorial. Magic X tutorial. So nice. Now I simply drag this symmetry object in a volume builder, volume measure. And meanwhile, maybe you know it that I made a small thing here, small script, which makes the volume builder and measure in one, so that I don't have to make first the builder, then the measure. So I select it, hold my Alt key, and make the volume builder, volume measure. You see? But we see nothing here now. This is because the voxel size here is far too big. So I go down to 0.5 or so. You see, okay, that looks good. And I want here now a fat X shape like this. So I go to here and use the dilate and erode here. Okay, this can be 10. So, yeah, now I have a fat X here. FedEx. No, I don't make any ads for them, or we don't have FedEx in Austria. We have it, but not really, so we don't use it. Me at least. So, okay, this looks nice, this shape, but I want a flat shape here, not such a round. And to do this, it's again quite easy. We make a cube. So I go into side view so I see it a little better. A cube again. So, and in the cube, I want the cube in the middle of this X here, and it should cover the X here. So something like that. This would be okay as well. So, but I make it like this. And here is the important thing: is how thick I want my X. So I say something like that. Let's say 7 centimeters. So okay. And now we have this, and I simply drag this again in my volume builder. And in the cube, I say now intersect. And now I have this nice flat X shape here, which is great. But of course now I need the inside of this. And even this is not complicated. I make an instance of this symmetry. So go to select the symmetry, go to instance. Okay. Drag it in the volume builder. And this instance I set to subtract. But I don't see it now, but because it's too small, so I have to make this bigger. So make a folder, drag this instance in this folder, and now I make here again a dilate and erode. So you see it now, and set the folder to subtract. And what you get is something like this, which already looks nice, but this is a little too far. 6, 2 is too less. 3 could work here. Okay, we use the smooth later on, but this is just for the first thing. So let's bring this back here. I want to go with the I want here a little thicker thing, so I want to go with my cylinder here more out to the edge here of the other cylinder. So let's do this, but here be careful. I want to move this cylinder and this cylinder, so I select this one, and with control, I hold control on the keyboard, I click this cylinder as well. Now I can move both of them, and I want to move it not here. I go here to the world axis, and now I can move it to the side nicely, and you will see, okay, something like that could be fine. But as you get here a problem, we don't see our thing anymore. Here everything looks nice. Let's make a smoothing here. Put here a smooth on top with just one. Yeah. Okay, that looks not bad. What I want here, I want a little fatter X. So go to the volume builder, go to this dilated rodent. 15 maybe. Yeah, that's too much. 13. You see, it's really fun with the volume builder to work. You can make this mesh. So, but now we have to do here anything. So this dilate is now too big here. I want it 2. Yeah, 2 looks perfect. And to bring this in this shape here, we need again the volume, the bend deformer here, and simply go out of the world coordinates here, and drag the bend deformer up here, until I come in here. Perfect. That looks nice. On the side we see it much better, you see. Okay, but now we have the same problem. We have not the same length here. So let's disable this for the moment, and let's see that we get the same length again of this. So we still should have selected the polygons here. Go polygon mode. You see we have still selected the polygons. So I want to come on something like here. So I drag this polygon up here to something like here. Okay. Again, I could make here, yeah, edge mode, UB, and select this and make here again MM, and yeah, that's okay, that's fine. Good, we don't even see this, so, but we know it's there. So, and now if we bring this back, we should have our nice X here. You see, we need the cube a little bigger. So let's bring the cube up here. Boing, boing, boing. Okay, nice. And we need our cylinder here longer, of course. So let's go to the side that we see it better. Make it longer. This is no problem here. We are still parametric, so we just play with the hi-hat and go with the hi-hat up. So let's say 140. Cool. Okay, let's hide the bend deformer here. Save again. And now we have one more problem here, of course. And this is, I want the X a little thicker here. So I go to this dilator road. Let's see, 3 maybe. 2.5 because this is too smooth now. 2.5. 2.3. That looks quite nice. But now we have the problem, of course, we intersect here, and this is not what we want. And this is a very easy thing here. Let's go to the top here, and we go to our cylinder here, coordinates, and in the H coordinate now, we go up until, you see, we go back here. Until we have here, this is our middle thing here, so it should not intersect here, and this looks quite nice for me. So, okay. Let's make NA to hide all the the lines here. And now when we rotate this guy here, we should be able to go through here. But in some cases we could still intersect here. You see, like this here. And this is now the fine-tuning we have to make. So, first of all, I think I still want to... first, let's make the... This is a little trial and error, but nothing complicated. This is okay. Let's go to the cylinder here. So here we see it nicely. We have to do something. Okay, now we don't. We would have to go a little out here, okay. That looks immediately better. And this is the thing we have to play with. First, let's go back to 0 here. That we see if here looks everything fine, but not really. So let's go back to 40 here. Yeah. And now rotate the cylinder. That is okay. It's okay. Here we overlap. And this we should try to avoid. This is... wait. Now we are here. No, this is not what I want. Wait. This was when we first tried was the same, so I had to tackle around. But it will work once. First of all, still we need this a little bigger again. So volume builder, object, dilate on the road, 3. Yeah, let's make it with 3. So we have more space, but I'm not really sure. But we can make this later a little thicker. So this is, but then we are here a little too close. So let's select the cylinder and this cylinder again. Go and drag this. Okay. Nice. Here with this we have to play a little with it. A little patience is okay. So. It's fine so far. Now top. Just to here. Take this guy. Okay, now it seems to work. Okay. Now it does not overlap anywhere. Yep. We are through. Yeah. Okay. Save it. Maybe we, and if we make it smaller, we would overlap here again, I think. Let's see. It is quiet, but it works. Can go a little less here, 2.9 maybe, 2.8. Just that we don't overlap here. Okay. Good, I would say this we can use. Again. Oops, back here. Let's see if this is a... Okay, nothing overlaps. That's important. Let's go back to 0 here. And maybe let's make the size here a little bigger again. You see, a little, go to the cylinder here, go here a little up. Oops, back here. Oops. No, come on, back. What's going on here? I need this cylinder here. Okay. So now I'm here in the middle. And nothing should change here. This still should work here. We don't overlap. Okay, this doesn't matter how. I just don't want to overlap. I can make it a little bigger again. Maybe 3. Okay. So, because you can play more to make it nicer, but what I wanted to do is just to make this one a little higher again. Something like that. Okay. Save. Okay. Now the next step. The next step is that everything looks nice here. But when I make this guy a little thicker, I'm not sure. That's too thick, but I want to see if it overlaps. Yeah, here we get an overlapping, definitely. So now we don't have an overlap. This is a little too... I want this a little thicker here. So what I would have to do is bring this further away. Oops, this one and this one. Yeah. I'm not sure why this. Because of this. This one and this one. When I bring this further away, we get a thicker X, of course. Something like that. And this is something I would like. But no. This is okay. And when I rotate it here, don't think that we have some overlaps. No, we definitely have no overlaps, so it looks nice. And now it looks nice. That is what I want. By far, no overlaps. Great. Okay. Good. This cube has to be a little bigger here. Boing. Okay. Of course, now our cylinder here has to be a little bigger. Something like that. But so that we don't intersect here. So let's go back here. Okay. Now I copy this cylinder here, but I need only the big one, so this one here. Drag it in our volume builder, and here before the smooth, everything should happen before the smooth. I subtract this again, so now I have here no connection anymore. I make this one a little bigger here, so or higher in this case. Let's say 5. Okay. It's important that you don't intersect here. That's okay, but we don't. Save. Okay. And of course I want now another cylinder here. Copy this one. Drag this down to something like here. Yes, doesn't matter where, so make it a little thicker. So something like that. Go to here, so and make this one, bring it as well into here, so bigger. Here, and this is union. And now we have here a nice thing. Okay. Can bring this one a little down. Let's go to the side field. Okay. This. We don't see this, so as I said, it's important we don't overlap here, that's okay. But we smooth, anyway, we smooth this one out as well. So. Okay, we have our first shape here, which is great. Now we go to this one, and we put this in a, we could make a, so I make an empty. First let's hide this one at the moment, and let's remesh this one here. So what is here? Why did I copy this? Don't have to copy it, I just want to drag it down. So but hide it. And I don't care about this here really. So yeah, if so we can go to this cylinder here, make this cylinder 6 and bring this back just in for a moment to see. I don't want too much space here in between. Maybe we see it better when we bring back the lines. But this looks okay for me, this looks nice. Okay. So, and now I want to remesh this one here. If you don't have the remesher, there are some plugins that can do this. Like I still use the quad remesher here as well, because sometimes normally what I heard, I'm not sure if it's true, that this does the same like this. It should be the same programmer or something, but I'm not sure about this. But sometimes I just think that this makes better results, and sometimes I get very good results with this. So, but you don't even have to remesh this. But I do it just so that it looks a little nicer. So I go to here and put it in the remesher. So in the remesher I want 10%, and I can mirror this in the X and in the C, not in the Y because we have cut it here. So we have to, and this could need a little bit so until 1-2 minutes that it is ready. You see here that it goes right. And you see we get a really nice mesh here, which is great. I think we can even go down to 5%. Let's see what we get here. And at the end I put this in a subdivision surface with 1 subdivision or maybe 2. We have a great mesh here. Perfect. So now I current state to object now. So remesh. This is the X. I can disable here anything and hide it. Put it in the backup folder. So okay. And same. I want here with this one. Try this and go to this one. I want to put this in the volume builder as well and in the remesher. This could work maybe without the volume builder with the, when you put this in a pool and remesh it, that could work as well. But well, I have the volume mesher, so I want to use the volume mesher. So again, I need here go even smaller with 0.3. That looks fine. Give it the smooth with 1 subdivision. Bring this back just to have a look at it, how smooth it is. So I can make this a little bigger. So I go to here and make a dilate at the road, which is a little too much. 1.7. This could work. Let's see if we rotate this. We don't get intersections. No intersections. Okay, we can work with this. Zero it out. Okay, nice. And again, I remesh this. Here we cannot mirror the remeshing, but because we are going back a little bit. If we would have this angle, what with this one here, if we would have this angle here at 0, then we could mirror it in the z-axis. But because we have this at 7, we cannot mirror. But we don't have to. So go to the mesh again. Set it to 5%. and wait a little bit. So as I said, this can take 1-2 minutes or so. But for me, it always is the waiting, worth the waiting. So, you have here the bar which shows you how far we are. Yeah, I will pause this video and will be back when it's done. But as I said, normally it needs not more than 2 minutes maximum. Okay, I pause it. So, and as I press the pause button, it started to work. And you see we have something like this. It does not look perfect here with the 5%, but we have here a nice mesh. This we need later on to make a selection tag for the neon. And here everything looks nice like it. Okay, I'm happy with this. Current state to object. This is the remesh spin. Okay, we can disable this. Bring the backup folder. So bye. Okay. And yeah, we can try to relax this mesh a little bit here, or smooth out this mesh. So let's go to the spin. With MC, you go to your brush tool, MC, and you see we have here relax and smooth. If you have something, the relax is new. A smooth is just smoothing out this thing here. So you see we can smooth this out, so that it looks a bit better. But if you have a lot of details in your mesh here or something else, you should use relax, because the relax keeps the detail. So, but in this case, you see, 100. Here is nothing to relax, but maybe we can smooth this more. No, it's smoothed out, so. Yeah, but we don't see this. We don't use here. We can smooth this out a little bit. We don't use a UV mapping, so this does not matter. Okay, good. Save this, and now we should have our whole thing going. To rotate, to spin this guy here, I simply use my little helper here, so go to all, and delete the search here, favorites, and here align to full range. This is normally for align to spline, but we can use it for rotation as well. It just makes 1 to 100% on the align to spline. It doesn't matter how, all over the whole project time. It doesn't matter how, if you change the project time, it changes with it. So it doesn't matter. You will from the end to from the beginning to the end, you always will get from 0 to 100%, or from 0 to 360 degrees or so. And it's a simple thing. If you download the project file, you will have it into, and you can simply drag it in your asset browser, and you have it when you need it. So the project settings, everything is, I wrote here what you have to do. The project settings, simply go with Control D in your project settings, and what you need here is next to the project, this small icon here, drag this icon into here, and align the spline. We don't have align the spline. So in the range mapper, we don't. We want to rotate something. Rotate means we need in the range mapper, instead of percent, we need degrees, because we want to rotate. That's it. Now I drag in the spin. I want to spin in the edge direction here, and whoops, done. And it doesn't matter how long the project time is, it will always rotate 360 degrees. So you see, when I hit play now, we have our perfect loop here. Okay, and of course, if you want here 720 degrees or something else, simply go to the range mapper and tell it here, instead of 360, tell it 720, or if you want to rotate it in the other direction, go to minus 360. So very easy to handle. Good. That's it so far now. And what I said is now it looks a little jaggy here, everything, but this is make a null object, put the well, this is the whole thing, whatever, yeah, or so drag these two guys into here and put the null object in the subdivision surface. I have the subdivision surface by default on 2, and if you go to NA, see now we have a very smooth, nice mesh here, which looks great. Okay, now we could start to shade it and to texture this whole thing. First, what I want to do is to make this neon thing. NB, I go back here. Let's hide the X here. So I go to my thing here and I make here polygon mode UL for loop selection, and I select, let's see, here and here. Make I for inner extrude. You will see in a second why. I for inner extrude, so be sure preserved groups is on. D for extrude. I extrude it once a little, then a little more to get sharper edges here when I put it in the subdivision surface. And again I for inner extrude, and I inner extrude it a little bit. That's it. So this just to have something where we say here we have metal until here, and then starts the neon light. And at the end we do the same here, so somewhere like, so UL, somewhere like UL, so UL, same again, I for inner extrude, D for extrude, zack, and again I for inner extrude. Okay, this little I for inner extrude, zack, this is just because now we have here sharper edges. As closer these edges are together, the sharper the edge will be when you put it in the subdivision surface. See, now we have here nice. That's the reason I did this. Okay, and we need another for UL. I select this here. Go to the other side. UL, hold the shift key, UL, so we have two selections here now, the upper and the lower, see these two, and with UF we can fill this selection, UF, and I hold my shift key so that the selected polygons are with it, so UF. So now I have this selection, great, and I store this selection here. I have it here, my toolbar, but selection, you have select here and store selection. Okay, so far so good. Save it. And so this selection will be laid down, simply the light. Good. Let's bring this back. Let's make a camera here. So, camera, whoops, bring the camera back to 0 everywhere, whoops. And the coordinates I can just back with the C, with the Y, something like that maybe. Okay. Make protection tag. NA. So now I have this and perfect. We don't have the subdivision surface on, that's the reason we have these edges here. Okay. And to I don't think we have to make really. If you really like, if you really need a physical render version of this, and you are a patron, just write me on Patreon if you need it. The Octane version is already online, so to download. But if you need really a physical render version for this, just tell me. But I don't think you need it, because we did so many tutorials with the physical render that this should be totally easy to do texture here. Good. What I need now is, here's the browser. We get into the materials. I go to my materials. Patrons can download the material packs as well on Patreon. Metals, and I'm not sure which one I used for this. Let's see if I find it. Oh, this is TPR. I think the octane metals. So this one I used. So with Shift F2 I can open the text, the material window here. Shift F2 was it. So bring this on my X shape, and as I said, simply bring it to cubic mapping. So NQ to hide the materials. I don't need to see it here. This is nice if you work with the physical render, so you have a nice preview here. But with the Octane render, it does not work all the time, and it needs more time. So of course we need something to light, so we do have reflections. So I use my Nikomedias Scene Rig, and you see how productive this is. So I go to the, I don't need the front. This is already here an updated, a little updated version of the rigs, so that the rigs are coming soon out, the updates. You see, you have it now here on top, and not you have to search here down here somewhere. And there is some changes that makes it work, and the workflow much quicker, much easier. So, and I want some nice indoor HDRI here, and I used here, I think the first one, I used the living room here. Okay, let's just see how it looks, save it. First of all, I don't want to use inclusions, and I have here somewhere presets. Let's see, brass tracing low, so I go into 500 because this renders quite quick. Everything is okay, static noise is correct here, so it's nice. Nothing more to do here, and let's see what we get. Yes, see, we have a nice thing here. We don't need the shadow because I make another cylinder later on to bring it on in. Oh, we can do this immediately. Let's simply go to this guy here. I make a new cylinder. Cylinder. Hide the camera here. Cylinder. Yeah, it doesn't matter how big this guy is. So here, and I want it. This. That, give it a small fillet here. So let's see how it is. One. So this does not have to go in the all here, so because I don't want the subdivision surface. This is the floor. Let's see the bottom cylinder, so this is okay. And even here I put a cubic mapping on it, because we see it just from the front, so that doesn't matter. So that should be something like this. That looks a little weird. Ah, okay, no problem. We need here more. 100. Now it works. Save, and again have a look how this looks. Much better. So now I want to make this here. OCTANE Rig, I want the HDRI a little rotated. Yes, let's bring this in the background. I'm not sure what I had in the background, but we can have a look. This is, it was something with trees. Nothing with people. Oh, I use this one here. Doesn't really matter because I make here. Go to the camera, give it an OCTANE camera tag. Whoop. And the lens, depth of field. First we pick a focus. This focus will be here. And here, let's see, 3 or so. 3 is a little too much. 2, 1, 1.5. Yeah, that looks quite nice. And I make it dark because we want to see our light a little better, of course. Something like that. And now for this guy here, for the spinning one, I used a normal magnesium or something else, I think. So let's go back to OCTANE, metal, cobalt, gold, magnesium. Whoops, and again simple cubic mapping. And for the light I make an emission, so universal material. I showed this last in my last tutorial, I think, or I don't know if it's a Patreon tutorial, was it a Patreon? Simply create a material you want. If you want it like me, to just click on here. Create your material you want to start with, and then make your own folder here or something, like I had here in my texture OCTANE, and here I have just the material, the universal material. This is just for my layout here. Create your material you want to start with, drag it in your folder here in the asset browser, and then you can drag it directly from the asset browser in your toolbars. And so you have it always by hand. So that's perfect thing. So I need the node editor here. The node editor is somewhere here. Yeah, it's somewhere between here. This. Yeah, let's go to here. So node editor. I have it here somewhere, but I have now I record with 2K resolution, but it's still a little small. And if you get used to 4K, so I don't really need a universal here. It's a simple diffuse because I only need an emission here. Black body emission and white. I could use only the black body, but maybe I wanted different colors or so. And 50 here. Surface brightness I decide a little later if I want to or not. You see. So I bring this on my spin as well, but here I use the selection tag. I name this here emission. Want to be very nice. So like here I name the polygon selection emission 2. So now perfect. Save, and let's see what we get. Yep. We have this now. It's almost a little thick. We could have done the cylinder a little skinnier or a little thinner. But it's okay. So how does it look when I put this? You have to decide here. So this gives us, of course, more right here. I think this looks more mysterious. I do it without for now, and I want the background a little brighter because I want to see more of this here. So, this is a little dark here. What I want is we have the octane. We need, of course, some bloom. You see it immediately. Wing, wing, wing. But this is enough, I think. So I have just one more. Yeah, this is more than enough. Okay. But I want to see more of our. Let's try and to rotate the HDRI a little bit. It looks nice, but we can work with the material as well, so this is material. We could maybe make this a little, it's too much, but 1.8, yeah, better, okay. I would say we have it. And of course the animation works perfectly, you see. Yes. We have a wonderful thing going. Here, color correction. So just brightness. Oh, you use a totally different material. But I think this looks nice so far. Maybe a little much. Good. We are done. Save it. Okay, I hope you like this one. And you see how funny it is to work with the volume builder. Because to model something like this, it would take some time to make this. And then with the volume builder, it's done in minutes. So that's really perfect, and since the remesher works so great, and yeah, it almost become a little lazy at modeling, because the most things I can do with oh, I forgot to activate here. The most thing I can do with the volume builder, and I'm far quicker with the volume builder to do something. Of course, if you need something really sharp corners or so, you have to model it, because you don't get sharp corners with the volume builder. This is almost impossible. But most of the time, the volume builder is a great solution. Okay, and that's it for now. If you have questions, complaints, requests, please let me know in the comments on my Facebook site, on our Facebook group, on wherever you can find me. And I always try to answer every question, and if I don't see one or something, or if I don't answer in let's say 2 days or so, don't hesitate. You can ask me twice, so you can ask me a third time too, but don't spam it. And yeah, the next tutorial will come as soon as I have time. I have such a lot to do at the moment, and summertime is always, it's a little harder to do something on, with tutorials and so, because when we have such a nice weather outside, of course I have to do something with my family. What means I have to do? I want to do something with my family, and I have to do it. Sounds like a must, but I want. And yeah, this time with the family, I don't want to miss. So of course, and I think I'm sure you understand this. Yeah, but send me your requests and everything, and I will see what I can do for you. So yeah, again, if you want to support me on Patreon, you will find a link in the description, and you get a lot of my Patreon site. You get all the project files, you get additional tutorials, you get downloads, texture packs, scripts, and so I think it's about, for patrons there are about 350 posts meanwhile only for patrons. So this is a lot what you get. The most is almost everything is available for $5 a month. This is yeah. But if you say no, I don't want to support on Patreon, you can of course donate on PayPal. Maybe you say, yeah, I want to buy you a coffee or a beer, what I would prefer, or it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, there came a bottle brandy 5 Kings from Cyprus, and I was really surprised and happy, because this is one of my favorite brandy. I had 6 months in Cyprus. So I used to work as a hotel clown. There's we say animator, and the animator is in English someone who draws comics, I think. But a recreation officer. No, I don't know how to call it normally, but I was the hotel clown, and I worked there 6 months, and we drank a lot of brandy sour with the brandy 5 Kings, and yeah, and this was a really great surprise. I loved it. So yeah, just a small anecdote. Good. But I promise I will do the next tutorial as soon as possible for me. And yeah, I wish you all a wonderful Sunday, the rest of the Sunday, and stay healthy, stay safe. And yeah, here in Austria, it seems Corona comes back, so but not with me. And yeah, that's it. So again, have a nice day, and all the best here from Austria, Vienna, and yeah, tschüss und baba.